Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight. I see you broken and beat, head pulled down over your eyes. Every part of you wants to surrender, but darling, you were meant to survive. With every start, we are born again. Open your heart, spend less time in your head. With every start, we are born again. Open your heart.
Hi everyone. How are you? I must admit I haven't had a shave, but I've still got my dad joke loading shirt on, so that's good. I thought I'd do quick tonight because next week I'll be in China. I've got not much to go through, but so if you've got any questions, by all means, get your questions ready. Okay, get your questions ready, and we'll rattle through them. But again, if I can keep it short, I'll keep it short. So, right, so let's get a bit more upbeat. My last message on Kickstarter was a bit negative, and I know that, but of course that's how I felt. It was a bit like, okay, people who for months and months, oh, get credit cards going and we'll come on. And I did it in about 40 people. I was like, oh. Anyway, so my little reminder, basically just under 100 people have completed with the credit cards, which is fantastic. I do appreciate. And don't forget, I do appreciate every single backer. Every single one I appreciate. It's just the fact that we're at that stage where we need the money to roll in, because I don't have millions of pounds sitting in the bank. I'm doing it based on the Kickstarter and the sales, and you know, this first couple of thousand monitors is quite a it's quite a balancing act. Okay, it wouldn't have been so bad if I hadn't spent so much on all the development. I would have been easy. You'd have no worries whatsoever, because we spent a fortune. When we ship everything, I'll let you know what it's cost. Spent a fortune, so I have to be very careful with the money. So as you all know, repeat just in case those didn't know, 1,000 monitors have been paid for. There's a load of money in the bank, not quite enough to manufacture the next 1,000, but there's enough to get those 1,000 monitors, ship them over here, and ship them out to the customers. All that money's sitting there. The good news is with the credit cards monies that come in, I don't want to talk figures, but the money that's come in is actually made me thinking, right, what's the slow parts? Because what I want to do is I want to roll into the next 1,000 really quick if I can. So if I can start by getting, for example, all the electronics made, we're getting to the stage where we've probably got enough money to make another 1,000 sets of electronics, which will be good. And I'll probably sort that out when I'm in China. The panels are quite expensive, so we'll leave it just a little bit longer. But then we've obviously got the rest of the chassis. Now, it's very important to understand when it comes to like cables and screws, I paid for 2,000 sets already. When it comes to the bulk of the chassis, I've paid for 2,000 sets. The only thing I haven't paid for 2,000 sets is the really expensive bits, which are the rear panel, the bezels, and the internal chassis. So those bits have got to be paid for. But it's good that I've already paid 2,000 of the original. So it's all good news. But of course, I've got to be very careful. Okay, I have to be careful. So hence me, getting a bit frustrated on the last one. I stand by it, to be fair. But anyway, so it's good news. People have jumped on board. Now, There's now I know I've already said that at the end of this month, I'm opening it all up to people on the waiting list, and that is 945 people on the waiting list. So because the fact of the way people reacted with the cards, obviously seen a bit of urgency in it. I'm going to do exactly what I said. So I'm gonna have allow people in, but all the people, I can't leave it till the end of the week. So in a couple of days' time, yeah, probably a couple of days, maybe soon, maybe tomorrow, day after. Those who haven't paid, I'll do that. I'll give you your order number in order of when you back the Kickstarter. So your place will be set. So please pay, but you won't get it shipped until you do pay your balance. And if I've run out of monitors, you're still going to be waiting for the second batch anyway. But it does mean that I can then go to the nearly 1,000 people on the waiting list. Say, right, if you want to buy one, here's where we are. All that has been uploaded now. The backers get the option of being able to piecemeal what they want. So there's monitor, then you can have the HDMI switcher, you can have the HDMI output plug, little dongle. You can have the Appy's retro scaler, or you can add the S video card. All these little options. Whereas the people on the waiting list, do you want white or black? 19-inch only. No 17 inches. So if you are a backer, you've got the option of 17-inch. I may never do a 17 inches. It might be special order because so few people wanted them. It actually was. I spent a fortune on it, and I don't regret it because I said I would. But I spent a fortune on it, and so few people actually in reality wanted it. So there is not. It's going to be a special order later. But if you've ordered a 17 now, you're good, right? I've already got them. The panels are going to be ready. It's no problem whatsoever. If you get your order in, for this batch, backers can do it. Only backers can get 17s, and only backers can. Now, for the people coming in, so it's either black or white 19-inch, and then they can add the Appy's retro scaler with the S video card. Now, what it does mean, of course, is that they can only order one monitor, but it comes with all the bits that backers paid a little bit extra for. And so I've added up all the prices, added a £3 or £4 to get to a 9. So the standard monitor's price is all those bits, and then rounded up to the nearest 9, should we say? So it looks like a nice number. So they're paying a couple of quid more than the backers, but they've got no option. They have to buy everything. It just allows me to simplify, because going forward, we can't afford to be having all these options because they're going to go into distribution. So the backers have got and you can always, with the backers, if you decide, I wish I bought the S video card, you can ring me up, or order it online. We'll post it to you. So there's no issue there. You'll always be able to get them. So that's coming up, and they'll be able to jump on. Now, they won't be able to jump in front of you, okay? But I'll give you an example. So say you leave it for paying your balance until they're here, and you leave it too late, someone may jump in because you haven't paid. It's literally, we go in the order of the invoice number to all those that have paid their balances. So just be aware. So that's the only way. So your place in the queue is there as long as you've paid your balance before we get to the waiting list users, which are later. I know I'm banging that on a bit, but now the other thing, that when software goes live tomorrow, everyone's going to get the credit card option. I'm going to give that to everybody, obviously, because we want to take a lot of pre-orders. Having said that, you will find if you go in there from tomorrow-ish, you'll see that it says credit card. When you come to pay, it'll say credit cards, pay, click here. And underneath, it'll be a nice little message along the lines of, but if you do pay by bank transfer or Wise, it would really help us, because, of course, I am not adding 2.5%, 3% or whatever the fees are. I'm not adding it on. Price is staying the same. but we've obviously got to pay that, which is not the end of the world, but having it by bank transfer actually helps us in other ways as well, because the money comes through a lot quicker. So it's good for that. So same with everyone who's paid by wires or bank transfer, they're going to get the printed manual. So it's a little incentive. But apart from that, if you want to pay by credit card, it's fine. It's all on there. So that's you'll see that. So you'll get the option. Yes, that new version of software is probably going to go tomorrow. I was thinking of putting it up tonight, but I want to do some tests. It's a little bit more streamlined. It's got a nice big banner, says paid, unpaid, pending, shipping, or waiting shipment. All those little things, trying to make it a little bit friendlier to use. So there's all that going on. I do listen to people's comments. I ignore some of them, but the good ones I nick and use. So that's all good. Now China. So I'm going to China next week. I will update everyone in the Kickstarter. Let you know I'm getting on. But the main reason for going out there is to oversee the beginning of the assembly. To be clear, there's been a bit of an issue with the black again. The textures having to be redone because I haven't seen it, but the company were not happy with a few of the ones that came out, and so they're redoing the texture so that the textures are, because what black's like, it shows up everything. So we're trying to get that spot on. So the whites are done, and also there was an issue with when he started testing the assembly. There was an issue with the chassis. Minor little thing, just got to be sorted out. So I'm going to go out the next week. We're going to sort all these bits out and start actually assembling them, and making sure their assembly process is working, and it's all going well. And then I'll be out there for a week. I may visit other suppliers when they're going to meet the panel people. I will meet James from Jinxin, who do the electronics. The others not really needed this time. So I concentrate more on the assembly and the production side of things, because I'm thinking going forward, what we want to do is after this first 2,000, I want to try and streamline it. I'm hoping once that 2,000 is done, we've got the money to make another 1,000, so that's going to be quite good. Also for the going forward afterwards, Michael from Dragonbox.de in Germany, my European distributor, he's got going to put a holding page up, so you can not pre-order, but you can mention your interest in you want to purchase if you want to buy it through Michael. Now, not the first 2,000, okay? This first 2,000 needs to come through us, because it's going to be, otherwise going to delay things. This is going forward, and so we've got, as I said, a couple of other distributors. One in America and one in Australia. Just need to finalise things with them. So the Chinese trip's important. Just fun thing. I'm changing hotel. The one I'm in, the Hilton's brilliant hotel, nice and clean, got everything you want. Well, no, but they got no evening restaurant, so you can get breakfast in there. They have a restaurant one day a week. And the bar's there's no one ever working in the bar, so you can't sit down. I have to sit in the room, so it's got very boring, because in the evenings I'm on my own. And so this other hotel has got a nice restaurant, because I like my food. And so I'm going to a different restaurant, Ramada this time. But a little bit cheaper as well, funny enough. But Sarah said, yeah, it's a bit cheaper because the Ramada is an older hotel than Hilton. I said, well, so am I. So I'm sure we're good. Anyway, so that's all good, and I'll update you when I'm out there. Let's now. Again, this is a short stream. So this is about you putting questions up. So I'm going to go through, not many. Hey Steve, already paid, but still interested in the drama the whole thing has been. Yeah, as I said at the end of it, I may do a video just to go through it. I mean, it's not so much. To be honest, the only real drama has been the banking side of it. I mean, that's it. I mean, I've had, I think, about 20 people want refunds. Half of them change their mind. You know, it's which you kind of expect. But I had one person that thinks it's a bit of a scam. Hopefully, he'll change his mind when he sees us shipping it, and he's added to the refund list. But basically, the real stress has been purely the banking drama. So that's been an absolute nightmare. The actual design, production, no, not so much. I mean, as I said, we've got a few problems with textures, but that's just a quality thing, getting it right. And, you know, these things can, you know, sometimes take a bit of a turn, a bit of time. So no, it's all gone okay. It's just taken longer than I planned, but then again, what you're going to get is so much. If I'd rushed it out, what I promised, people would have used it, been pleased, but it would not be really what I call a consumer product. It would be more a serious hobbyist product. So I think we've done the right thing. Honestly, I'd have one, but you've seen how small the cottage is now. Oh, okay, is that Andy? I was gonna say, yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, see, cassette in the back. The whole credit card fiasco, was it too much money? And Barclays suspected money. Yeah, I mean, as I said before, when they said to me originally, how much are you going to turn over a year? I set out 4 years ago, and so I said $250,000, and that was fine for 3 years. But then we hit 300,000 in 2 days. So they just pulled the plug. They wouldn't even discuss it. They wouldn't do anything. They just pulled the plug. And even I went to NatWest as well. And, I had a manager and everything, and he was going, yeah, it's all going to be good. Yeah, well, I think we'll be fine. Blown out again. And then I had the thing with the credit card, my credit rating. Barclays had lied, inadvertently, but lied about my credit rating, saying I owed money, and it killed my credit rating. And until I got that fixed, which is now fixed, in fact, they bounced back again, and I got them to fix it again. So that's been a drama, nothing else, just the fun. And it's not like I wanted to borrow any money. And I think that's half the problem. Banks don't like it because we're not borrowing money, which means they're not making the interest on the loans. So I think that's the bigger picture. What can I do? Can't do much about that. Any updates on Appy's health situation? I really miss him. Yeah, okay, so Appy is... Okay, again, I'm not going to... I don't think he'd mind. But there will be a point when I'll talk about it, mainly because his story is in the manual. But he was literally really ill. And we were worried about, was he going to survive? And now he's improved. He's not out of the woods, but he's improved. But he's not working. Well, I know it sounds cruel, but he finished it before he got ill, and which is because it means that the project could have died, and then I'd have had to go back to the original. So that's good, and it means that whatever happens, him and his lady will be getting. Well, they have been getting royalties anyway, to be fair. But they'll be getting continued royalties, so that's kind of important to me. The fact that you've been doing these streams helped me feel better about it. Yeah, I know. But that's why I try and do at least every 2 weeks. But I think it's been every week recently. Lots of updates. But I mean, yeah, it's true. It's just you can see. I mean, a lot of it's just waffle. But just I keep my face. I mean, the other thing is, of course, you can see my face. I'm not hiding behind a company. You know what I mean? It's like, this is my face. If it all goes pear-shaped, trust me, a lot of people know me. I probably would have problems. So Barclay rejects money, pardon me. Yeah, no, yeah, the banks like to loan out money that you've given them, funnily enough, so we could pay them interest. But with this, I didn't need to borrow any money because it's all prepaid by customers, so they don't make an awful lot of money out of it. That's why this whole new thing is they're still trying to get the grips with it, I think. Hi Steve, do you remember me? I emailed you before about this monitoring Kickstart projects. I'm sorry, the name doesn't ring a bell, but I probably have been. But terrible with names. I've paid for monitor. What do I need to do to add a monitor bag? How will the shipping costs be affected? Okay, right. So so basically, if you want to add anything to your order, go back to the site, pick the product you want, press add. It'll create a fresh order, and then you can add anything you want to add on it, but there'll be shipping. So what you do is, if you then email me, and then I will click bundle. For all the bits that go inside, there'll be no extra shipping. For the bags, which are quite big, if it's in Europe or the UK, there'll be no extra charge, because it's kind of a fixed size, and the whole thing, it's volumetric, remember. There's a fixed size, and even with the bag fixed to the box, it's still under that size. If it's outside of Europe, then it's volumetric, so you will be charged just the extra bit of volume, because it obviously has quite a bit, because this is 14 mil bigger, so it does add that, but it's not actually adding too much. I'll give an example. I think sending a monitor, say for example, America, is about £70, £75, something like that, and the bag adds about 25 quid to that, something like 25, maybe 30, but it adds, it's quite a bit, because you're paying volumetrically. So yes, but again, they were £100, now they're 50. Once the first batch arrives, have you thought about approaching the news outlets? A story about creating an old school. Yeah, look, I've got a lot of ideas for promotion. Do not worry about that. There's a whole raft of stuff to be done, but I'm nervous of creating a demand for something I can't satisfy. So it's important to me that I ship these first 2,000 units. And then get a process where I can ship 1,000 every couple of months, and we get that process smooth. Then I open up, because if we do sell tens of thousands, it's going to be scary time. So it's gentle steps, but I think we can sell. I mean, we're not going to sell millions, but I think we could sell tens of thousands. And but to be blunt, I mean, my aim was, if I sold 5,000, 10,000, I could retire on it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want it because I get bored, but it would be and I can invest, because everyone knows what I'm like. I invest in new ideas, and it means I can get a bit more adventurous. One of the problems I've got at the moment is my office. I've got about 650 square feet. It's nowhere near big enough. I need a couple of thousand, but I can't invest in that quite yet. We'll wait and see what happens, and then I'll invest in it. And then I also want to take on some staff, or a staff member, but small steps. Because I've got a lot of plans for products to make. I've got lots of things I want to do. Everyone knows I'm an Amiga fan, and I've got some serious ideas on the Amiga side. And lots of things already kind of like potential there, but I just have to have the money, funds to do it. That won't be a Kickstarter. Right, what's the next one? Already has some YouTubers over here. Yeah. When the project becomes alive in Kickstarter, and I heard in some forums that you not accept new backers in Kickstarter. Well, if you miss the Kickstarter, you miss the Kickstarter. Having said that, that's why people have been getting on the waiting list, and I've got 940 at the moment, 950 on the waiting list, and that's only from the first video from Nostalgia Nerd. So he's getting the monitors. Probably when I come back from China, we're going to get a couple over quickly, get them to him. Definitely one. I think the black might actually be a bit of a delay. but definitely going to get one to him, and then he can do an actual review. And I'm going to ask him to hold the review, and then and then run that out and see what happens. Now, if he says it's a piece of junk, that'll be it. I don't think he will, because he was impressed with the original. I can't believe he'd be unhappy with this, because he's seen the quality and this is now better. So I think he'll be pleased. I think it'll be a positive review, within the constraints of what we're trying to do. It's not a magic bullet for everybody's needs. Remember, I'm aiming at 90%, not the rest. Yeah, I mean, I just keeping quiet. It's not about. Yeah, yes, no, I understand that, and they used risk as the main reason, and I totally understand. I do understand, but I do think the actual real overriding picture is it's not benefiting them, all these businesses starting with Kickstarter, because we used to sign our house over. So when it went pear-shaped, they get your house. There was all that going on. And if you don't, you want to look up on Global Finances and you might see it. And I would like you to, how much time do you think we need until the monitor will be shipped? Okay, so Pandax. Sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. Email me, steve@imeka.net. And I'll add you to the waiting list. Everyone's going to be warned, his pre-order's going to be 3 to 6 months delivery, probably more like 6. But literally, this is one of the reasons I want to do this, because then I get the money sooner. I can get the ball rolling quicker. So literally, we can go fill a container, ship, fill a container, ship, fill a container, ship. And we can get into that. So, I don't mean like every 5 minutes, but like hopefully the first, every month. So a whole load come, and then I assemble them back out the door, another lot arrives. So we can get it moving smoothly. That's why getting people on the wait list, because they'll be buying it. It'll be fresh money, because get that out there, get them made. As I said, I only need a couple of under a couple of 100,000 to pay for the next 1,000. So it's not a big ask. So that's kind of important. My obvious concern is I'm hoping not all 900 will buy them. What I'd be happy with is say 300. If they bought 300, bought monitor, then that would bang kickstart, pay all the money, another 1,000 gets made, because they're probably going to order 2,100, because I can get about 650 in a container. So 650s is about 2,000 just over, and then just roll them. If you ever need a hand with shipping, I'm sure I can spare some time. Yeah, no. So I'm going to take someone. I've got someone in mind, a family member, and potentially Caroline was going to come and help me, but I prefer she stays at home, or be with Alfie. But by the time I'm assembling these, it'll be school time. So that wouldn't. She's only come in school time, but. But I don't like. I'm always when I worked for Web Labs, I was the company socialist, so I don't like. I wouldn't want to employ someone and give them that hope, and then I have to pull the plug. That would upset me. So is there a current ETA on shipping the first batch to customers? Well, it's the same as I already said. Although I've got a feeling it's going to be the end of October. But I'll have a better idea when I go to China, because if they've got everything there. It's literally the plastics, the couple of one plastic part, the big rear panel. Oh, hang on, camera's gone to sleep. I've obviously done half out. What was I say? Yeah, I'll have a better idea when I'm in China. But it's around what I said, and again, if I've got the people coming in with the pre-orders, then I can get the next batch. I'll just, I can say, well, look, just make a whole load more. We can get everything, and then we can streamline this, and it'll be quicker. But this whole payment thing is not completely to blame. because we have had a few delays. But right now it's kind of a holding thing for the second batch. First batch was fine. It was the second batch. Because there is an awful lot of money to be spent on panels, because all those chassis have been paid for. It's the panels and it's all the extras to be manufactured. It's all that stuff that costs, and that's the stuff that obviously we've got to pay for, because that's just the way it is. Waiting is currently somewhere. Yeah, nine. I can tell you exactly how many it is if you want to know. I will just. Oh my god, loads of people here. Look. Monitor run 934 people. 934 people on the waiting list. But again, as long as the good thing about this is, and then a couple of people have emailed me to say they're glad the car's online, but they're having issues for paying, and I get that. It's not a cheap thing. I know it's not cheap, and so it's not an issue if you can't pay now. I don't want you stressing yourself about it. And all it just means you'll get your place in the queue, and when the monitors are here and I get to your number, if it's paid, then it will ship. That's as simple as that. If we run out of numbers that are paid, then we'll start shipping out people on the waiting list who are later in the queue. It's just that. That's all it's going to be. I might see if I can do a reminder system. I don't know yet, but as we get close to the end, maybe send an email off. Like, it's your turn. You need to pay now, or we'll hold on to it until you're ready. Because again, it's like, some people have said you might not be able to pay till next year. And that's fine, because your money's always on the account. I'll always honour your order. Nothing's going to change there. So it'll always be good. Any more questions? Because I've not much more to say. Nothing interesting, really. Come on, some more questions. Right, seeing as there are no more questions, I can't think of anything that someone's asked that I haven't answered. Tell us a dad joke. Oh, God. Do you know what? I'm rubbish at jokes, but I've really started listening to. No, I've always in the past I was at Radio 1, but I got bored with the DJs. But I've started listening to Radio 2 occasionally. But I like Tony Blackburn. He's about 80 odd, and if you don't know who Tony Blackburn is, you should look it up. I'll try and get a dad joke for next time. All right, because it's still loading. I'll try and get a dad joke for next time. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Thanks so much for joining in. If you've got any more questions, send them to me, steve@imeka.net. But apart from that, I'll see you soon, and I'll let you all know about how it's going in China. Take some pictures, that kind of thing. Anyway, just going to find this button and press it and say, will I get back to the keyboards? Maybe. I got too much on at the moment. Anyway, okay, thanks so much. See you later. Bye.